What's going on, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of D&D&Chill. It's a lovely Monday night. About 20 minutes late. But, you know what? 20 minutes late is better than no stream at all, I guess. So, as you can see on the left of your screen, we're back to the DM Academy. There has been some updates, some changes to how the DM Academy is working. There is no longer the like a big mega thread that that was like for new DMs and stuff like that. But, you know, it is, you know, it's a little bit different. There's miscellaneous questions, which, I think will be probably on point with what we're looking for. Some questions to answer and stuff. Shit, my one window isn't open. I gotta pop that out. Feeling all better? Not really. Nope, still have a persistent cough. Yeah, dealing with that. But, I mean, I guess as good as I can be. Oh, man. But, there we go. I was looking for my questions document. Why is that so big over there? Jesus. I was looking for my questions document, and I just found it. So, because we have some questions from the community that we are going to answer, a few of those. And I got to move those over there. So how's everybody doing tonight? Because, again, I am... I'm still feeling like shit. Also, my niece and nephew are over here. That was actually the reason why I had to... I was late. Was because I had to go down and act like a parent to children that don't want to listen and want to do things they're not supposed to. Yep. So yeah, that's blame it on them. I also got a BLT next to me, so I know you can't see it right now because it's in the void, but oh, look at that. Got a BLT. Call it my brother then. Yeah, well, when they come over here, they get the wrath of their uncle. Because I can also shut off the internet from every corner, or I can shut off the internet to every single device in this house. So they if they do anything that I feel they should not, then easy enough to just immediately lock out every one of their devices. Ooh, sorry, I'm looking at some things on the internet. Actually, it's not even the internet. I don't know why I said I'm looking at things on the internet. I'm sorry, I'm looking at some stuff. I think no, it's personal on my, files. I think Stacy, you may have put up something earlier in the D&D. Yeah, here it is. Yeah. Ooh. Awesome Otaka. Thank you. Thanks for the follow, buddy. Appreciate that. But Tales of the Valiant came out with their alpha release, and I do plan on talking about that tonight. I want to kind of look over it and see what all is in it, because it's been a while since we talked about Tales of the Valiant. That it's been a while, so we are gonna spend some time on that. But as somebody who backed their content on Kickstarter, you got a free coupon, or well, I shouldn't say you got a free coupon. You got a coupon for you got a coupon to get the alpha release. It's normally $10, but if you end up if you joined their Kickstarter, you got that. So yeah, as you can see, they put out that update just today. So we went over there and grabbed that, and like I said, we're gonna chat about it. So, but I'm currently just looking through. I don't want to reveal everything that is in my in this folder, but I do want to look it over later. I do have the PDF pulled up on one side. We will get to that. I actually also downloaded the creator kit. The creator kit was actually free, and it has a bunch of overlays and stuff. In fact, I could just do I actually would not have use of any of these because I have more players than what they accounted for, which I totally understand. But just for example, look at that. There you go. There's so you could have this up for an overlay. If you are running a Tales of the Valiant game, you could have like the DM up in this top space, right up. Can't see my mouse. Oops, didn't mean to click that. Like you could have them up here. You know, you could have like one player here. You have one player on that one player down here. So yeah, they definitely you know, got it ready for what they are, you know, what people are going to want to use. Why did I open my color picker? So you have like just 4 people. So if it's just a DM and 4 players or 3 players, you could have something like that. If it's a DM and 3 players, and then you could have something in the middle there. Or that could even be a splash screen just whenever, you know, it's on there. Ooh, D&D. It's not D&D. It's specifically not D&D. It's Tales of the Valiant. This is the Kobold Press D&D clone. So we're just looking at some of the overlays that they offer. And yeah, it is true. It is only 4. No, see, that's the thing. Only 4 is the average. Like, that's the thing. So here's the thing that is the reality of D&D parties. Now, if you happen to watch any of the streams that I run for my D&D games, then you will know that I have ran... one second, I gotta pull something up. So the 2 games that I run on this stream, the P5 and Rime of the Frost Maiden, both of those have now 6 players each. Okay. And for the most part, I'm the outlier. Now, there are shows out there, there's live plays out there like Critical Role that has 8 players, and there are some that have, 7. There are some that, you have like grand campaigns like West Marches that have a bunch. But the reality is that most D&D campaigns only have around 3 to 5 players. That is the average, is 4. But there is a reason that it is 4, and that is because the classic D&D party was 4 players. It was the fighter, the cleric, the rogue, and the wizard. It covers pretty much every base that you need when it comes to standard D&D party mechanics. You have the rogue that's running skills and stealth. You have the cleric handling radiant damage and healing, and a little bit of tank. You have the fighter who's dishing out heavy single target damage, who's also tanking, and then you have the wizard who's mostly in the back providing AoE and utility spells. That is the standard party. Now, expanding upon that, you could add a paladin if you wanted a party that had a little bit more tank and a little bit more damage output. You could add a bard who is another skill monkey, but also can kind of fit any one of the roles, which is why oftentimes when there is 5 players, you will normally see a more charisma-based character dropped into that slot, because fighters are generally going to either be strength or dexterity and then constitution based. Wizards are going to be intelligence and wisdom, or intelligence dexterity based. Rogues are going to obviously be dexterity based and some wisdom or a little bit of charisma. And then clerics are obviously wisdom based and constitution or strength. So you really don't have like a huge charisma pull with that. So introducing a paladin or a sorcerer or warlock or a bard is a great add, because it really hits that other mark. But that's the thing, 4 players is the average, and so that's obviously what they screw paladins. I like my paladins. I've played a paladin or 2. But yeah, no, they got some really cool things on here, and I will have a way to show these later whenever we get around to it. Always have a ranger. I don't know if I could make... I would say if I had to choose between a ranger and a rogue, I would take a rogue any day. Unless, and there's only one specific case that I wouldn't, and that is if we are playing a heavy exploration based campaign. If stuff like hex crawls are going to be an option, hunting is going to be a thing, scavenging is going to be a thing. If it's a campaign where you have to like manage water and food and like all those little minutia things, 100% I would take a ranger. I would play a ranger in a campaign like that. But I'll take a rogue any other day. That's right, the 4 clerics named the Amen. Clerics are so utilitarian. No, 4 bard paladin multis. Ooh, yeah. That's okay. I'm digging that. Hold on. Okay. Linked in the Discord. The Holy Boys from your party. That's beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. Oh my God. Here's a question: if all four players have to be one class, what is the best? It depends. It depends on what you're doing. If I mean, it depends on what level they are. I would argue that Bard. I would argue I would argue Bard or Cleric. And that is because Bard has Bard and Cleric both have the same hit die, so you're not getting any extra health, but Clerics do get heavier armor options, which means that your ACs are going to be higher without having to really dip into dexterity. You also have a lot of options because for example, the Knowledge Cleric is kind of just like a wizard. You know, they get a bunch more spells, they have a lot of different options, they have a little more utility. Trickery Clerics are going to have some rogue-like skills. Nature Clerics are going to have some Druid-like skills. Twilight Clerics are just ridiculously overpowered. War Clerics are going to be your fighter. Life Cleric is going to be your standard cleric. So if it was up to me, I would say if can I choose a different subclass for each? I would say 100% you can choose a different subclass, because if that's the case, if you had to go with the same subclass, then that would, yeah, no. I'm gonna say if it's Cleric, give me a Life, Knowledge, Twilight, and Tempest is good, but I want, I don't know, Nature Cleric is also really good. Nature Cleric's good because you can get resistance on those damages. I don't know. I would be like, I wouldn't care. Like, I want Knowledge because I want access to more spells, and the proficiencies that come with it. I want Life because I want the extra healing, and I want Twilight because Twilight Clerics are broken and can, like, give everybody dark vision and shit like that. Beyond that, I'll take anything else. I mean, realistically, Tempest, War, Nature, Order, they're all great. Bard, if I went with Bard, then give me Glamour for the charm, give me Lore for the wizard spells. I'll take Whispers, because Whisper Bards are able to do psychic damage and also frighten creatures. And then from that, I always forget between Valor and Sword. Oh, that's right. Valor's more of the fighter, but is more of a champion fighter. Swords is the battle master. They both get extra attack. Use your attack. Ooh, yeah, that's garbage. You know what? I'm gonna say this. We're gonna say taking the swords. So there we go. There's my Bard party. Yeah, there we are. Glamour, Lore, Swords, and Whisper. I'd really have to like sit and, you know, I could probably come up with like a better list. Eloquence is also good. I played an Eloquence Bard that Unsettling Words is really good. So Unsettling Words, there's also another, I think it's their next ability. 60. Maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, I'd probably stick with that. I'd probably stick with those four. But yeah, in my opinion, like I said, Cleric or Bard. You know, Barbarians don't have enough utility. Unless you're wild magic, you're not casting spells. So you better hope that you're playing a Conan the Barbarian style campaign or adventure. Druids have a good amount of utility. And they're not that squishy, but I mean, again, it's kind of more of a specific thing. They don't have like a lot of different variety with their stuff. That is really, you know, kind of out there. They do one thing cool, but it's not enough variety in my opinion. Fighters are fine, but they just don't have enough magic if you want utility and like stealth and stuff like that. Or I mean, I guess samurais are charisma. I'm just gonna say no on the monks. Monks aren't terrible. Like mercy is healing. Shadow is your rogue. What would be, I mean, open and Kensei would be your fighter, and then we're just missing out on wizard, so I guess 4 elements. So I guess you could do 4 elements, Kensei, mercy, and shadow if you wanted to go monk. I just personally wouldn't, because the monks generally are just kind of meh. You could just take whatever 4 paladins, honestly. Paladins, you take a conquest, take a vengeance, give me redemption for a little bit of healing and devotion. Like paladins is like the one where it doesn't matter what you do. Paladins are just really good at a lot of things, and they're also high hit point die. They have heavy armor and stuff. You're able to heal naturally. You're not gonna stealth. That is like the one thing. So, you know, fingers crossed somebody can grab pass without trace or something like that. I would never say take a full party of rangers. No, I just wouldn't. I mean, you have your rogue variety, but you just don't have enough access to spells for a lot of utility stuff. Who needs shiny plate all the way? Yeah, I wouldn't take a full party of rangers because you don't have enough versatility in your spells. Again, the Gloomstalker is good if you need a little bit of stealth. Horizon Walker is good mobility, but they're very specific. Swarmkeeper and Beastmaster are gonna allow you to add more things to the battlefield, which is gonna give you some scouting options. Can I add bells to the plate? I want them to hear me. Well, yes, anything could be campaign specific. That's the thing. Like, if it was a campaign where you're trying to rally an entire countryside to fight in some battle, you would probably want you'd probably want a party of all charismatic characters. So yes, if you are playing in a campaign that was like every one of you is plopped down in the middle of the forest and you have to survive like X amount of days and find these things in a forest or something like that, 100%. Rangers all the way at that point. But again, that's, specific pedantic points. Rogue, I would not want a full party of rogues. Arcane Trickster is all right, but they have limited spell casting abilities. Really the only good thing they have is that invisible mage hand. Inquisitive is good if you want more of like an intelligence-based character. Mastermind's good if you want more charisma and insight-based character. Phantom's gonna be great because they actually do. I mean, we know Jared plays a Phantom Rogue. They get some good like casty stuff in a sense because they get to they get some like mobility utility stuff. Excuse me. Soul Knife is good because they get side daggers. Scout's not bad for mobility. Again, these are all just mobility characters. Swashbuckler can dip in and out of places, and Assassin's just built for damage. Thief's built for grabbing things. So I probably wouldn't want a full party of rogues. It just would be too edgy. Probably cut yourself on how much edge there would be. You have a full party of orphans. And then we got down to our last 3. I mean, no. Warlocks, You would never want a full party of warlocks because they have so limited amount of spells, and they do, like, only a hexblade is really going to be good in melee combat. The rest of them just don't have enough standing power to do their own things, and sorcerers and wizards are too squishy for you to have a full party. You better hope to fucking God that you can take an entire party of evocation wizards and get to level 5 as fast as you can. That's it, in my opinion. Or blade singers, those two. Okay, blade singing is great because you high dexterity, you have a high AC, you can move around the battlefield, you get to use intelligence for your attacks. It's really good. War wizards also have some melee abilities, but I just really wouldn't rely on this. If I personally had to take, though, a party of wizards, I would do abjuration, illusion, blade singing, and evocation. The blade singer is going to be the fighter, evoker is going to be the base wizard, illusion is going to be the rogue, and abjuration is going to be the cleric, the healer. But you get like a troll throwing a rock at the party and everybody's dead. Like nobody's surviving in that party. Oh wait, actually I said abjuration. You know what? I'll give or take either abjuration or illusion for divination. Divination's good mechanically, because you can force rerolls and stuff like that. So yeah, there we go. That's what I would do if I could have a party all the same class. It would, I mean, paladin through and through, but cleric or bard would be where I would go. Just because, I mean, bard is literally built to be good at everything that everybody else is. Just like, bards are good at everything, okay? A cleric is great at healing, a fighter is great at combat, a rogue is great at stealth, and a wizard is great at spells. But a bard is really good at all of that. Jack of all trades, that's it. That's why their main ability is called Jack of all trades. Like, it's the whole reason I love the class, is that it's that you can do anything. And it's actually why I love playing a bard, is because if you are the kind of player that really likes to encourage and help people with what they are doing and make people stand on their own, but just giving them a little nudge, a bard is a great character. Bards get all the damsels, goddamn right. But it's great because, like, okay, the fighter is going to push this door down. Well, the bard could also do that, but if I'm playing a bard, I would rather, like, you know, do some kind of inspiration, like cast enhance ability and give him bear strength so that he's able to do it better. You know, it's like I can back you up, I can help you, but I want to see you do it. That's why I like playing a bard, so I can, you know, help out the friends. Yeah, so those were that was a fun little experiment. Still back over on my other window, looking through all the stuff that is all the Tales of the Valiant thing. Tales, oh, okay, it's just an additional background. They got some cool art for their characters, I will say that. Here, we'll pop these up here. Oh god, it's so big. Oh no, hold on. I didn't mean for them to be so big. Oh my god, they're so huge. Oh, that's funny. All right, hold on. We're gonna do one at a time. I did not mean to put all three up. You know, we're gonna shrink you, because then, oh yeah, we're gonna shrink you the whole way down. There we go. And then we got the rogue, who, God, I I have to like make sure I don't accidentally send them off the screen. That's the problem. But I can actually, once I get this guy down to a good enough size, I can actually do something. Control Shift. Okay, yeah, there we go. All right. Hey, look at that. Gotta love copy transformation and paste transformation. Gotta love that. All right, so there's our Tales of the Valiant pre-generated party. It's not bad. I like the art. We're gonna give each character a little bit of space. You know what? Actually, I can do this. Hold on. Let me put him up. We're gonna put him up there. We're gonna put these guys down here just for a moment. And let's roll you down. Let's make you a little bit smaller. There we go. And we'll shrink the cleric. All right, and then what I will do is, oh, my neck. Click for that. And we're gonna put this over here. And we will. Hey, there we go. Yeah, I say we're a little off there. We're just a little off. We're a little low. There we go. Yes, there is a cleric. Or there is a rogue, yeah. All right, so this is our first character. This is the so we're looking at the dwarf up top. He is a battle mage wizard. Hold on, let's move that over so we get a little bit more. There we go. So this is Unthar Shaleheart. He is a Fireforge dwarf scholar, and he is a battle mage wizard. Oh, this is a nice little way to put this. Okay, that's not bad. I like that. You know what? That's funny. Oh yeah, he does have a little salamander. Actually, didn't see that. Oh, wait, I'm an idiot. Hold on. I'm an idiot. I just realized I could have done something a lot more convenient and also not nearly as obtrusive. Come on. Why is it not? Okay. I don't know why that's not working. I would normally never have an issue. Just, there we go. Okay, don't know why that was doing that. Hey, look at that. There we go. Now we can actually do this. All right, so we're gonna make this first part about some of the Tales of the Valiant. D&D&Chill stream. It's Tales of the Valiant right now. All right, so first character, yes. We have Unthar Shaleheart, and he does have a nice little salamander. Actually, I'm curious if it is a salamander and not something else. Oh, it is. It is a salamander. Awesome. Cool. We'll get to that. We'll get to what all that means. I do have the book pulled up here, so we will have the ability to go through it and actually see stuff if we want to if we want to stop and really dig into something. So All right, so yeah, I like the organization of this, and that actually shouldn't be too crazy to believe because it's very similar to how D&D Beyond is set up in where things are. So if we look at this, or you know, we'll pull up a standard D&D character sheet. So I mean, looking between these two, you have very similar things that are presented. You know, obviously high elf and elf, you know, one is the sub race or the heritage, but I know heritage is more just generic now. But I will say I do like the blue aesthetic. Now there are colored versions of the D&D character sheets out there, but I will say at least this does pop a little bit more. So it is, I mean, it's fine. This isn't even actually a standard. That's not even a standard D&D character sheet. Like, that's the funny thing. That's not even what a standard sheet looks like. I don't even know if I have like any of my old character sheets. I might. Oh my god, here they are, I think. Yeah, there we go. So like, you can even see that on between these two, there's a slight difference in where certain things are laid out. Like, hit points got moved over, you know, off to the side. Same with your death saves and your total hit points. Your initiative is now more front and center, and your armor class, they have more of like a big standing, along with your defenses. Inspiration also got moved into the middle. Proficiency bonus is no longer just like up by the top. And ability saves, which I think with this we're actually on the next page. Yeah, it would have been down here. So but this actually doesn't even say what his is, because it's down here. It's on the spellcasting sheet. So but beyond that, like, the original ones put so much emphasis on the personality traits, the ideals, the bonds, the flaws, and stuff like that. That was a huge thing, because in the beginning they wanted you to use some of these things. So that was why they were put so front and center. Now a lot of that stuff is just like all the way to the end. Like, you know, that stuff's barely even visible for 5 sheets. Instead, you get more of your actions, you get more of your weapons and stuff like that. They have a bigger space to exist. So that's good. And then you have your features, which really wasn't a thing before. Like, you had this little space and that was about it. Yeah, oh my god, these were all my old characters. So, you know, that's the thing. It's like, I like how I like some things about these new ones, but this is everything is super compact on this. I'm not gonna lie. Everything's really compact on here. So yeah, it's not bad. All right, so yeah, let's take a look at this wizard. So pretty good setup here. We'll have to see how you roll stats, because I see nothing. Okay, we do have one that has a negative score. I didn't know if we were starting at 10 or anything. All the same abilities. I see that you cannot have it with expertise. Unlike with like some of the older ones, Oh, I guess not even on this one either. There are some fillable character sheets out there that allow you to do like expertise denotion. We know that we're gonna have the luck traits. That's a thing. Oh, this is pretty nice. I like this. I like the little hit points. That is pretty slick. We're gonna scale this over. Let's shrink you up a bit. I want to see more of this. All right. So I like how the hit points are laid out. The current max temp, like the type and how many you have, like what is your max and what is your you know, what is your, you know, you've used. And actually, yeah, see over here they have it laid out pretty much the same way in the new ones, but it's still, you would still have to just like kind of keep track of that manually there. So this is pretty nice. Basic death saves, we got our exhaustion levels, so really just following in the footsteps of D&D with that one. I just realized this one doesn't have exhaustion, at least on the first couple pages. Yeah, actually the I don't know if it has exhaustion anywhere. I might just be blind or just going too fast, as possible. Nope, I don't see exhaustion anywhere. That's fine though. All right, so he is level 3. Okay, yeah, 3rd level is up there. All right, so we got armor class with shield and without. Oh wait, what is this? So that sheet is part of the alpha thing I shared on the Discord that can be bought for $10. So it is, if you are not a part of the Kickstarter, it is $10. If you signed up for the Kickstarter, you have to go to Kobold Press's website, sign into your account that is linked to the Kickstarter, and go to the store page, go to my account, and then there's a coupon button, and in there you will have a coupon code to get it for free. So that is how you can get this, or you can just pay the $10, which I think is, I forget exactly how much I paid for the alpha, but I think it's about the same price. Let's get a bite of my sandwich. Okay, I see what they're doing. Okay. All right, so his proficiency bonus is doubled with smithy tools. That's how at least they're handling it there. With something like expertise or something like that. Some basic stuff. Got a healing potion, nice. Night vision, dwarven resilience, dwarven toughness, expert artisan reforge. I'm curious about that. Is that a dwarf thing? Page 24. I really zip past stuff. Excuse me. No, that's not a thing, so that might be part of the heritage. He is a fire forge. There it is. Your people have a deep connection with elemental fire and have learned how to repair forged items with a touch. You know the mending cantrip and can cast it as an action. However, you can use this trait to repair objects only made of metal. Yeah, we've talked about this before when we reviewed the Fireforge stuff before. All right. So spellcasting, arcane recovery, magic sense, battle mage, expanded talent list, spell. We'll get to all that. We'll look into these. Hey, there's our boy. So he's 72, 4'8", 167, deep amber eyes. I guess those are deep amber. He has weathered skin and soot white hair. What's his backstory? Oh, his homeland, the stronghold of Korth Dalmar. My right ear needs to pop so bad. All right, in the realm of enchantment, Unthar Shaleheart embarked on a devoted quest to unravel the secrets of hold on, I gotta do this in my narrator voice. In the realm of enchantment, Unthar Shaleheart embarked on a devoted quest to unravel the secrets of ancient dwarven magic. But a perilous encounter with a fire elemental left him on the brink of death. This ignited a newfound passion for fire and its duality of creation and destruction. Within the sturdy confines of a dwarven stronghold, Unthar immersed himself in studying its labyrinthian cave system. There, amidst whispers of forgotten lore, he chanced upon a map leading to a chamber steeped in ancient enchantments. A trove of magic artifacts awaited him, and in their midst, a wise salamander familiar emerged as his faithful advisor. Since that faithful discovery, Unthar's heart burned with an insatiable curiosity for fire's power. Guided by his sagacious companion Frix, he delved deep into the arcane tomes, honing his skills and uncovering the hidden depths of this captivating element. Now, the world eagerly awaits the extraordinary feats of magic emerging from the harmonious dance between Unthar Shaleheart and the fiery forces he seeks to command. Yeah, sick. I like that. Short, simple, to the point, evocative with emotion, and everything that a backstory needs in literally four sections. I love it. Love it. Unthar Shaleheart. Oh, so these are okay, these are the other names. So we got Gadazade, Lazon, Halsey, and Senofush. Fushish. Okay. Frix, his fire salamander familiar. All right, so what does he get as a third level battle mage? An expanded talent list. You can select a talent from the martial or magic talent list. Okay, so I think talents were just their version of feats. When you cast an arcane spell of first level or higher, you can weave. Okay, so this is spell sculpt. Oh wait, actually no, it's not. Sorry, here it is. Their spell sculpt. Okay. I was like, no, he has spell sculpt. I know he does. When you cast an arcane spell at first level or higher, you can weave a protective ward around you. While the ward is active, you gain the following benefits if you aren't wearing medium or heavy armor. They last a minute. Bonus to your AC equal to your proficiency bonus per long rest. That's not bad. I mean, yeah, that's not bad. Like, it basically makes your AC 12 plus your dexterity. So, I mean, make it 13 right now. That's better because he doesn't have a shield. You have resistance. Oh, okay, that's fucking sick. Look at that. All right, Earth +1 at what? Earth +1 at dam. I'm assuming this means damage. 1d6 fire damage. No. Special. Twice per long rest can reroll all 2s or lower on spells and damage. Earth +1. I wonder if that's whatever this wand he's holding or this like staff. Oh no, that actually might just be this lamp. I don't really see anything else. I do like that he has alchemist fire. Mending, firebolt, message, prestidigitation, burning heads, comprehend language, fail the fall, floating disc, mage armor, magic missile, shield, alarm, create familiar, continual flame, flaming sphere, invisibility, lay chain. We'll have to see that. Magic weapon, scorching ray, web, magic mouth. I don't care much for magic weapon. That's just me personally. Oh, lay chain. That's new. Ember Hearth. That is the mace that he's wielding. That's fucking expensive. He's a level 3 and he's rocking a 2,000 gold rare mace. Also, he has proficiency with a mace? I'm sorry, am I just dumb? No. So wizards get proficiency with a mace? Where's the wizard? Hold on. What page is the wizard? Oh my god. I went the wrong way. Page 21. That must be something specific to like dwarves or something. Oh, you know what? It's probably the dwarf thing. Maybe? I don't know. You have +1 to attack and damage made with this weapon. As a reaction, you can re-roll any dice that shows 2 or less. Ah! That is what this is referring to. That is what that is. It's Earth. Ember Hearth. I think that's what it's referring to. Yeah, I think it's like E. They took the E and then they put the Earth. Okay, so wait, hold on, what would the dam be? You must be when used by a battle mage, they gain proficiency with Ember Hearth. There we go. That's pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie, that's a cool thing. Unthar Shaleheart crafted this mace from one of the objects he found deep inside the vaults of Korth Dalmar. Sick. I still want to know what. So Ember Hearth is +1. I don't know what that dam is. Okay, here's the stats for Fricks. Lay chain. Okay, you create tendrils of lay energy that burst forth from the ground. You can like ley lines. Okay, you can use ley chains to restrain a creature of the size large or smaller. Choose one creature within 30 feet. They must make a dexterity save. On a failed save, the ley tendrils wrap around them and is restrained for 1 minute. The end of each of the target's turns, it can make a strength saving throw. On a successful save, the spell ends on the target. At higher levels, when you cast the spell using a spell slot at 3rd level, you can target one. Spelling mistake. You can target one additional creature for each spell slot above 2nd. I'm not gonna be the guy that is like, you know, going over into you know, the TOV stuff on their Discord. I don't know. It is all just preview, but I kind of am like very tempted to like hey, on Unthar's character sheet there's a spelling mistake. All right, it's fine, it's whatever. Okay, then we just have an extra page. Okay, cool. I'm super into this character. I like the backstory. I like that he has a little familiar, and yeah, I mean, I like that fucking weapon. That's sick. Reminds me of something that would be in like what was that game, Vermintide. Well, I give them spelling. So I do plan on filling out the alpha reports on this, so you can rest assured that will be in there. Itch. All right, so who do we got next? We got the elf rogue Lazon Hailsai. So let's take a look. Take a look at our elf roguey boy. Let's get him zoomed out. All right, so we got a hand crossbow. We got what looks like a short sword, I assume. Okay, short sword. You know what? I didn't even look at this here up in the middle. Ember Hearth. There we go. +3. Yeah, 1d12 +2 fire damage. Fire. Okay, so it's that plus fire. Light hammer, quarterstaff. Okay, cool. So we got a rogue enforcer. He's a cloud elf soldier. Got a good array here. Got pretty balanced. I don't see any kind of denotion of expertise over here, but we do have expertise down here, so I'm curious about how that plays in. Oh. Combat conditioning, +2 HP per level. Ignore recovery die rolls of 2 or lower. What does page 34 say about? What is this? Combat conditioning. Here we go. Your hit point maximum increases by 2 for each level. Okay. When you roll hit dice to recover hit points, you can ignore dice rolls that are lower than your proficiency bonus and treat those as if you rolled a number equal to it. Cool. That's sick. All right. We got our passives, 26 hit points. Yep. Not a squishy boy like our D6 wizard over there. 14 AC, heightened senses, magic ancestry, trance, touch of magic, illusion, world of wonders. All right, let's see what so we have a burglar's pack, thieves tools, a symbol of rank and badge, or a mess kit playing card. Oh, because of his soldier background. It's, yeah, same thing for D&D. 4 explosive bolts plus 2d6 damage in a 10-foot area of the target DDC. 2d6 damage in 10-foot area of target DDC. It's DDC up here as well. I'm curious if it's like, you know, oh, dexterity difficulty check? That's probably what that means. Because it'd probably be like SDC, DDC, CDC, IDC, WDC. No, because the CDC would be the piece. We'll get to it. We'll look into it. Because, yeah, this is how it should be laid out otherwise. All right. Lazon Hailsai. Within the realms of the Fey courts, Lazon Hailsai, a cloud elf of grace and guile, traverses the path of shadows with long, noble braids, adorning both men and women, their body covered in a cloak bearing wisps of cloud on its edges. Equipped with a quiver of crossbow bolts and a concealed dagger of Akkasit, Lazon is a former soldier turned rogue, adept at reconnaissance and sabotage. Disillusioned by false accusations and betrayal, Lazon abandoned the army, embracing a life of thievery. Infiltration and information gathering became his craft, driven by a burning desire for revenge against his former captain. Yet, his quest for justice intertwines with another, to reclaim a lost artifact stolen from his people, even through dangerous means. In the ebb and flow of moonlit whispers, Lazon Hailsai, the enigmatic cloud elf, weaves his legend, guided by revenge and purpose. The realm holds its breath, anticipating the unfolding tale of this shadow-dwelling avenger. Cool. He's 142. Almost about twice the age of our illustrious wizard over here. Oh, I didn't even notice this on the left here. Hold on. Joined up with the Valiant Four. Like that, the Valiant Four. To find their lost companion. Oh, you know, luckily I can edit some of these. Joined up with the Valiant Four to find their lost companion in a far elf realm, wants to grow in power as a caster and crafter to protect his friends and produce for the stronghold. He wants to, with the Valiant Four, to bring back one of their missing members, seeking revenge for being wronged by a powerful individual, his former captain. And I like, actually really like how they left it ambiguous. I really like that they left it ambiguous for what you are doing, because it allows the DM to say what was the thing, like how was he betrayed. So I actually really like that. I want to see something here. I want to put this in. Actually, read mode is really nice. Can I put them all in read mode? Oh, Control H. Hey, look at that. I will have to remember that for the future. All right. So, what do we got here? We got Enforcer, Ambush, Third Ambush. During the first round of combat, you have advantage on the first attack roll you make against any creature. Okay, so that's very similar to what is it? Or wait. No. I'm thinking of something else. I want to say that eventually a rogue gets that. Come on. Bonus action, sneak attack. Huh. What immediately came to my mind was actually the Gloomstalker Ranger, who has the ability of Dread Ambusher, where at the start of your combat you can make an additional attack. So, but it is basically kind of just working the same as the rogue sneak attack. So, you know, whenever you successfully roll the creature that is surprised, it's an automatic crit. I think that's how the assassin works. Here, oh, that's right. Here it is. It's the assassin. Okay, you have advantage on attack rolls against creatures that haven't moved. Any creature that you hit that's surprised. Okay, so it's the same thing. Same thing as the assassin. Cold-blooded. Once per turn, when you reduce a creature to 0 hit points with a weapon attack, you can use the same weapon to immediately make a weapon attack against a different creature within your weapon's range. You can't add sneak attack damage to this additional attack, even if circumstances would normally allow you to do it. Interesting. So that's kind of like Great Weapon Master in a way. Because Great Weapon Master is that if you reduce a creature to 0 hit points, you can make another attack as a bonus action. But this is not saying that it's a bonus action. So we'll have to look more into that when we actually go into the character sheet. And then get a new talent. Okay, so they got a talent. Akasit Blade VOM, page 11. VOM? Oh. Oh? VOM. What is that? Hold on, is that a Kobold Press thing? Is this something I'm just ignorant to? I'll look something up. Gotta love bacon. Because I think it stands for like Vault of something. It might be like Vault of Magic. Hold on. We're gonna put this over here. I don't know. I wonder. It's taking a minute. Ah! I knew it. I fucking knew it. Vault of Magic. VOM. Vault of Magic. I knew it. That's not a book I have. I don't think I own that book. I'd be interested in getting it. How much is the how much is just the PDF? 5th edition non-mint. I don't want a hardback version. Just be $30. Maybe I'll pick it up one day. Oh yeah, there we go, for 5th edition. Sick. So yeah. That's gonna be that. So that's where you're gonna find that. But we got manacles. Okay, got no spells because we're a rogue. Here's the Akassit blade. It's what our illustrious rogue is carried around. You get a +1 to attack and damage rolls made with this magic weapon. It is crafted from the arm blade of a defeated Akassit. See Tome of Beast 2. Oh, wait a second. I fucking knew it. I knew it. I was like, wait, I swear to God, I have these on 5e.tools. That is an Akassit. That's sick looking. That is sick. That's the arm blade that it has. And would you look at that? There's the Akassit blade. That is awesome. Fortunately, no pictures on here, but tis life. It's cool that we get to see like how that looks. It looks fairly similar, but nothing, not too crazy. But then again, this is probably also just a short sword. But that's cool that we can see that. You can use an action to activate a small measure of. I know this word. Why am I? Yeah. Yeah, okay. I forget how to pronounce this word, actually. Hold on.
Prescience.
Oh, prescience. I always forget how to pronounce that word. My mind always immediately goes to pre-science. Okay, so there we go. You can use an action to activate a small measure of prescience within the dagger for 1 minute. If you're attacked by a creature that you can see within 5 feet of you while this effect is active, you can use your reaction to make one attack with the dagger against them. If it hits, it loses its prescience, and its prescience can't be activated until the next dawn. Yeah, it basically is, it basically means to know something or to like have foresight. Like here's the word that I'm used to, precognition. It's a little bit like precognition. But I would say foresight. If we were making it easier for everyone, including myself, I would say, you know, just replace that with foresight. But hey, yeah, I mean, it's fine. All right, so not a bad looking rogue. We got some decent damage outputs. So, and sneak attack at this point is 2d6. So at 3rd level, that it matches up with what we got for the for D&D. All right, so we got the human fighter coming up next. This is Gata Zaid. She is a Spellblade fighter, a nomadic an outcast, a nomadic human outcast. There we go. I keep looking at her. She says she's a strong woman. she's a sturdy woman. Bearded axe, short sword, chains. What chains? She got chains? Man, she is a real mommy. Okay, here we go. We got a +1 shield, animated chain shirt. Interesting. All right, so we got disguise kit, aware, initiative 9 or okay. So here's a cool one. She got us something, all right. Gotta say, gotta ask her number. This is pretty sick. So the talent aware. Let's pop down here. Here we go. When you roll for initiative, you can treat any roll of 9 or lower as if you rolled 10. As long as you're conscious, you can't be affected by the surprise condition. Hidden targets don't have advantage on making attacks against you. That is pretty baller, because that's kind of like Keen Mind, or no, not Keen Mind. Fuck, what's the other feat? What's the one that's that but wisdom? Shit. I always get these two mixed up. Observant. No, that is what I was thinking. No, that's not what I was thinking of. Fuck, what the fuck is that? Well, it would be like the alert feat. For some reason I thought that I thought it was something else, but okay. You know what? No, yeah, it's basically the exact same thing as the alert feat. Can't be surprised while you're conscious. Hidden targets don't have advantage on you. I like the wording on this better. I actually really like this a lot better too. It's a lot more powerful. Plus, I know that they changed the alert feat for OneD&D, that it's a bonus of your something or other. I think it's your proficiency bonus is what it is. Let's look up Scudge real quick. Go features and traits, manage traits, alert OD&D. Yeah, it's proficiency bonus. Oh, that's right, you can swap your initiative. That was garbage. I did not like that. I definitely like this. I like that you can't roll lower than a 10. That in itself basically means that you have a dynamic bonus, if you really think about it. You know, it's like it is considerably more powerful. Okay, so that's pretty nice. So getting into combat faster. All right, so she's 27. Oh. 5'8". Stone gray eyes. She got stone gray eyes? Was not paying attention to her eyes. Was paying attention to something that rhymes with eyes. All right. What is her backstory? Deep within the wild plains of the labyrinth, behold a Gata Zaid, a warrior whose speed defies mortal bounds. With unmatched... Wait, why is this... Did I miss something? Hey, look at that! She's a fighter that's mained in dexterity. Good. I'm glad they actually went this way. That's actually really sick that this isn't just a muscle-bound dipshit. Okay, cool. Let me start over. Deep within the wild plains of the labyrinth, behold a Gata... I don't know. This should not say a Gata Zaid. Behold Gata Zaid, a warrior whose speed defies mortal bounds. With unmatched agility, she outmaneuvers foes and delivers crushing blows with her swift strikes. Unburdened by heavy armor, she wields a trusty bearded axe and an indispensable shield. Gata Zaid was raised in a nomadic tribe, emphasizing speed and the mastery of the axe and shield on horseback. When goblins threatened her tribe's existence, they scattered to survive. She sought refuge in a nearby city, quickly becoming a member of the Guard. Her reputation for unparalleled speed and strength in battle swiftly spread, making her one of the most renowned fighters in the realm. In the grand tapestry of destiny, this agile warrior emerges, embodying the essence of motion itself. With her axe as a weapon of precision and a shield and unwavering guardian, she leaves her mark as a living testament to the power of swiftness. Everything is about her agility. She's looking to find any survivor from that goblin attack. That's cool. That's sick. It opens up a lot of doors for the DM to play with. So she's a spellblade, so she gets some wizarding spells. So we got cantrip, we got light and mending, Longstrider, fire under the tongue. What the fuck? And the shield spell. Okay. Fire under the tongue. You can ingest a non-magical fire up to the size of a small campfire within range. The fire is stored harmlessly in your mouth and dissipates without effect if not dispelled before 24 hours. Once ingested, you can spit out the stored fire as an action. If you try to hit a particular target with the flames, treat it as a ranged attack with a range of 5 feet. Small campfire sizes deal 2d6 fire damage, while tiny torch size deals 1d6 fire damage. Once you spit out the flame, the fire goes out immediately, unless it hits flammable material that can keep... That's fucking cool as shit! I love that. I don't know why she has it. That's a cool ass spell. That is more in line with what I wanted to give Cephas in P5. I gave him Burning Hands, which is fine, but something like this would be sick to give to like a Volcano, you know, like Barbarian or a Forge Cleric. Like literally just the ability is like, I suck up the fire and then I spit it out in your face. Like that's cool. That's cool as shit. I like that. So yeah, we got shield, we got Longstrider, the mending and light are basically the exact same thing. Animated chain shirt. All right, while wearing this armor, you get a +1 bonus to your AC. You can use an action to cause parts of the armor to unravel into long animated chains. That's where the chains come from. While these chains are active, you have a climbing speed equal to your walking speed, and your AC is reduced by 2 because you're slower. You can use a bonus action to deactivate the chains, returning it to normal. While wearing this armor and the chains are active, you can use the attack action twice with the chains. Oh, you can use an action to attack twice with the chains. You are proficient with them. Each chain has a reach of 10 feet, deals bludgeoning damage equal to 1d6 plus strength. If you hit a creature of a size or of your size or smaller, you automatically grapple them. You can have no more than 2 creatures grappled. While grappling, you cannot attack other creatures. Okay, cool. I like this. That's sick. Just fucking flailing out. That's cool. I really like this character. I also like the fact that she's dexterity based, and that, you know, intelligence is the highest score because she's a spellblade. So I'm kind of wondering if the cleric is gonna be more of our muscle, but I mean, it's only a 13. They're more charisma and wisdom. All right, so this is a ward. Okay, that's where the fighter comes in. War domain cleric. This is a grove human adherent. Okay, what's an adherent? You devoted yourself to furthering a singular focus in your life, be it a faith, belief, or cause in the service of God. Priest may have asked you with daily prayer. Okay, so I'm assuming this is going to be, yeah, okay, it's like an acolyte. Okay. Yep. Because yeah, there's only a few. Yeah, this is definitely an acolyte. So okay, what do we got? We got a scythe, dagger, calligrapher tools, flute, ritualist, arcane, weapon is intense. Yeah, I mean, scythe is pretty big. Or fit even the little thing on her head. I'm wondering if she worships a moon goddess, because she has this belt piece as well that's also a crescent moon. Ambitious, canopy walker, and elf. Weapon training. Oh, is that because of the grove? Oh, look at that. Yeah, canopy walker. Okay. Yeah, that is sick. I like this. Okay. This is actually one of the things that I really liked about Tales of the Valiant. You know, they introduced this back in the very beginning of this, but it is really cool to just have the races of, say, you are beastkin, you're dwarf, you're elf, you're human, you're halfling, you're gnome, but your heritage is just how you were raised. You know, cloud heritage characters were raised with the values and traditions of cloud elves. Cosmopolitans grew up in cities. Fireforged grew up around dwarven clans. Nomads grew up out in the wilderness and you know, in small tribes. Grove is the wood elves and stone is the mountain dwarves. Like, that's sick. Oh, and we have Slayer, so we got more of the hunters. Oh, this is the beastkin. Okay, so these are more the beastkin. And then okay, wildlands. So here's our outlanders and stuff. Like, I really like how these are done, because it does kind of give you credence of, like, okay, I want to be an orc, but or like I want to be a dwarf, but I don't want to be a mountain dwarf. I kind of want my dwarf to have been raised around elves, or I want to play an orc that was raised with elves. These aren't backgrounds, these are heritages. So these are sub races if we want to put it into 5e terms. So instead of, you know, when you're making your character in 5e, you know, let's say you want to play an elf. Okay, well, okay, you want to play a high elf. That's awesome. You get some extra cantrips. But what if you want to play a gnome and also get those cantrips? You know, that's one of those things. So cool, you can, or you want to play a tiefling and have access to those extra cantrips and stuff. Like, I really like how they did that. One, because it means that you can now introduce races and you can introduce heritages separately, but it also means that you get to have so much variety. I mean, even with what we got Cloud, Cosmo, Fireforge, Nomad, Stone Grove, Slayer, and Wildlands. We have 8 heritages, and we have 3 current races. Okay, we have Beastkin, Dwarf, Elf, and Human. We have 4. Okay, so right there, we have 32 different... we have 32 different race options when it comes to what you want to play as a character. 32 options just to start with. Okay, if we are just looking at the PHB for 5e, okay, you had 24. All right, but it was like, okay, cool, you're a dwarf, you know, you have to pick between these 2. Now it's, oh, you're a dwarf, you get to pick between these 8. And it also means that you could have somebody that's a dwarf and a human and an elf, and maybe you're all Fireforge. Okay, maybe you want to be a light cleric Fireforge dwarf, and you want to be an evoker wizard Fireforge human, and you want to be a wildfire druid Fireforge elf. Y'all grew up around a forge, some mystic forge somewhere that was the central point of trade in that area, and everybody learned around it. Everybody did forging, and there were fire elementals there, and so everybody has these abilities, and because of that, it's what brought the characters together. And granted, I mean, yeah, you could do that. I'm not necessarily saying that anybody should all play the same heritage, but it is a cool way that you could run that. All right, so let's continue on. So we got Manifestation of Might. I'm curious to see what that is. Divinity and Divine Domain. Okay, so she's 33. Hey, she's only a year older than me, but she's 6'5". Oh, big lady. I like the character's design so much. His especially. I fucking love this outfit. It's so cool. All right. Xenophosh. Xenophosh was raised in the mystical sanctuary of the moon goddess Artemis. Trained within its sacred walls, Xeno embraced her destined path as a devoted cleric, honing her skills under the temple priest's watchful guidance. Her affinity for the scythe was undeniable, seeing it as a potent symbol of the moon goddess's domain over life's cycles. For her, its curve held the power of death and rebirth, a testament to lunar might. Tragedy befell her when a powerful vampire baroness claimed her temple mother and mentor's lives. Hatred for the undead consumed her, particularly for the one responsible. Thus, her heart burned with an unyielding fury. In the moonlight tapestry of her existence, this human cleric emerges with a scythe. Emerges. With a scythe, she becomes the beacon against the encroaching darkness, fueled by a thirst for justice. Her destiny unfurls, an indomitable spirit rising to face the shadows. Her scythe, a relic beyond mortal scale, radiated with divine energy. Adorned with lunar reverence, a moon ornament graced her hair, a cherished holy symbol. The moon-shaped belt buckle whispered its allegiance to celestial forces, and those boots, imbued with whimsy, became her enchanted companions, the legendary moon boots, carrying her with ethereal grace and linking her to the grand hunt in the realm. Damn. She got all kinds of goodies. All right, so Senna was trained in the Temple of Artemis to spot deceivers in the labyrinth under any moon. Interesting. She joined the Valiant to continue her study and test her limits, and arguably to one day go after this vampire. Okay, that is 100% a story hook. So good. Manifest Might. You gain proficiency in heavy armor, martial weapons. Additionally, you gain the ability to infuse your weapons with divine energy. Once on each of your turns, when you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can cause the attack to deal additional damage equal to your proficiency bonus. I think it's pretty clear this is a war cleric. Pretty much the same thing. So, right there. Get to make an extra attack. This one is just you get to make an extra attack, but it's still the heavy armor. I do like this, actually. I like the additional damage. Okay, so War Domain. This is where we're really getting into stuff. Mark of Triumph. As a bonus action, you present your holy... Okay, so this is the channel divinity, I'm assuming. As a bonus action, you present your holy symbol and mystically mark one creature that you can see within 30 feet of you. Until the start of your next turn, any creature who attacks a marked target has advantage on the first attack. Wait, what? As a bonus action, present your holy symbol, mystically mark a target you can see within 30 feet until the start. Oh, okay. You are marking them for attack. You're marking an enemy. Okay. Disciple of War. When you successfully hit a creature using the attack action, you can choose to make an additional weapon attack as part of the same attack. Okay, so there we go. That's what we're looking at from the War Priest ability. The Mark of Triumph. That's pretty badass, though. I gotta say, that's cool. It's kind of like a hunter's mark or something like that, or like a actually it would be like guiding bolt. It'd be like guiding bolt ability, or fairy fire, even like a fairy fire thing. Holy God, what the fuck? Look at these goddamn items. Do I have access to these? Hold on. Moonstrel. No. Death's Mirror. Nope. And oh, well, then we have the feather token, but that's from Eberron. Okay, we'll have to see what we got here. All right. So yeah, we got a full caster. Why do they have third level spells? We'll have to get into that. All right, so we got Guidance, Resistance, Spare the Dying, Divine Favor, Shield of Faith, Bless, Command, Cure Wounds, Detect Good and Evil, Protection from Evil and Good, Sanctuary, Shield of Faith, Unseen Servant, Detect Poison and Disease, Purify, Feud and Drink. What did all these do? Oh, that's probably Domain. Those are probably Domain spells. They 100% are. Magic Weapon, Spiritual Weapon, Aid, Calm Emotion, General Pose, Hold Person, Less Restoration, Silence, Warding Bond. Arcanist Magic Aura is new. I've never heard. Yeah, this is this. I knew this one. Never heard of Arcanist one, but then again, it's probably just like Leomund's Tiny Hut and just Tiny Hut. Okay, yeah, it's probably just, yeah, they just probably changed it from Nystal to Arcanist. Okay, I don't know, I pulled up Augury. And then we have Fear and Spirit Guardians, but they wouldn't be able to cast that because they can't cast third level spells at this point. I want books like that. What books? Oh, do you mean boots? Did you mean to type boots? Okay, whoever made this cleric, I'm gonna say this right now. This player is sleeping with the DM because look at this. Okay, they got to add third level spells. They have 3 magic weapons where everyone else just has 1. Their whole backstory is like, you know, so much more about the flavor and like all this gravitas. They have 2 skills at 15, and granted, they are the only one with a negative modifier, and that's the Constitution, which that hits your hit point pool pretty hard. Arguably, I mean, you're wearing half plate, my girl. I mean, get some heavy armor and swap that over there. I mean, criminy. I wonder. Okay, no, these don't calculate. All right, so Moonsteel Scythe weapon. The blade of this magic weapon seems to shine from within with a pale white light. It deals an extra 1d6 radiant damage to any creature it hits. If the creature is a shape changer or any other creature not of its true form, it becomes frightened until the start of your next turn. At the start of your next turn, a creature frightened this way must succeed a charisma save or immediately return to its true form. Okay, so this is very much like some of the weapons that Saloon has, because generally speaking, moon deities are all about truth and uncovering true forms. It's why like lycanthropes transform in the moon. They are revealed in the moon. So there's actually a lot of abilities that deal with the moon that specifically do go toward lycanthropes. Feather token. This black feather is shaped like a crescent moon. As an action, you can brush the feather over a willing creature's eyes to grant them the ability to see in the dark. For 1 hour, they have dark vision out to a range of 60 feet. Haha! You said dark vision here, and I swear to God, everywhere else they call it night vision. Because they didn't want to say dark vision. Hold on, let me see. Okay, no, they're calling it dark vision. All right, what the fuck? Elves don't get dark vision? That's pretty funny. I love this beast character. I do want to look into this because I actually think this is really sick how they have it set up. All right. Oh, it's a one use only. Afterward, the feather disappears. Okay. Wow. Wow. A 2,000 gold item that lasts. It's a one-time use and it lasts for an hour. That's rough. All right. Death's Mirror. Made from woven lead and silver, this ring. I don't see a ring. This ring fits only on the hand's smallest finger. As the moon is a dull reflection of the sun's glory, so too is the power within this ring, merely an imitation of the healing energies that can bestow true life. This ring has 3 charges, which are regained at dawn. While wearing it, you can expend a charge to 5 temporary hit points for an hour as a bonus action. That's not bad. Yeah, no, this is very expensive dark vision. I mean, granted, we don't know what magic items are all in here. I actually haven't looked at that. Page 68. Do we have a list of magic items? Okay, here. Spell scroll. No, we don't. So what we don't have is Goggles of Night. And the thing is, let me pull up the particular book that I use. Wait, is this? No, I think this is the wrong one. Oh yeah, that was the wrong one. There we go. They're right next to each other. The Wanderer's Guide to Merchants and Magic. This is actually what I use to value all my items. Go into magic items, and we didn't go to the right one. Scroll down. Here we go. Let's find them. Goggles of Night, right there, baby. Uncommon, wondrous item, 800 gold. Instantly gives you 60 feet of dark vision. Okay. Like, I'm sorry. That's how are you beating that? How are you beating that? And it increases it by an additional 60 if you already have it. Now, granted, obviously, we don't know if, you know, Tales of the Valiant's gonna have Goggles of Night, but it's an uncommon item in 5e. Like, it's literally just there for the taking in most cases. Super early on, you can find those. Oh yeah, for those of you curious, this book, The Wanderer's Guide to Merchants and Magic, heading to bed. Thanks, buddy. It was enjoyable. Oh, I'm glad. Thanks, Jared. You're a good friend. Evan Tier, I have not ever like really specifically talked about his specific books in the past, but Evan Tier does amazing books and I use them all the time, and I actually mean all the time, because I use his guide for the Rime of the Frost Maiden. So for example, this is the section that the party in the Rime of the Frost Maiden is currently in, and it actually has information about like running the characters and stuff like that, and how to do things, and you know, like what enemies are where and how many they are. And granted, I change it, you know, because it's meant for like level 5 players, but I use this all the time when running, whenever I'm running those sections. You know, here's the whole thing about 10 towns. Like, each one of these explains each of the towns. It gives the idea of like what are the stories around there, what to do with the quest that's there. This is also, he was the one that set up this, which is a variant rule to make travel a little bit more manageable in this. So an extra supplement to run. Yeah. Hold on, I gotta shut my door. Yeah. So this is something by Evan Tier I've been using ever since I started running Rime of the Frostman. I've had it since day one. And I have it up. Like, this is the... I don't have something like this for P5 because it's two separate, you know, official modules. Plus it's my own stuff. But since I'm running Rime of the Frost Maiden more by the book and just kind of like changing what I want to on the fly, this has been just indispensable. So yeah, but he also has Melando's Guide to Magical Marvels, and also has the Wanderer's Guide to Merchants and Magic, which again I use all the time. In fact, here is his website. If you are at all interested, he actually does have a hold on, let me, how do I want to do this? Yeah, we're gonna pop this up real quick, put this over here and pop this out. So come on, do it right. I wanted both of those tabs. There we go. So this is his website. He does have a couple books on here. Like I said, I basically grabbed both of his main ones. This is actually fairly recent, I believe. Go shop, all products. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, he's got all kinds of stuff. He's got a bunch of magic items. He has bunch of modules for like Foundry and stuff, rune magic, wild magic, all kinds of things. So yeah, check out Evan Tier. I love his stuff. Yeah, and then in here, this is another site that you can go to. It's just eventiergames.com/price list. So you can go into here and you can search stuff up, and this would have the same information that was on there right there. Goggles of Night. It also shows where they are. So you got the DMG, you got Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, Wayfinder's Guide. So, or no, that's the Wanderer's Guide. But also another quick way to search. And there is also the NPC/shop generator, which is what we just had. I haven't used this one before. I actually use a different one for a shop, but arguably this is actually pretty badass. Normally, if I want a magic shop, or magic item shop, let me see. Yeah, normally if I want a magic item shop, this is the website that I use. 5eMagic.shop. Because this one allows you to like set what you want. Like if we do a general store and then we, you know, add maybe a potion of healing to it, I can then copy this link. I can hit save, edit, and share, and copy this link out to my players, and then they can see what's available. So, and you can also like change up the markup and stuff like that if you want stuff to be, you know, real expensive or real cheap. Like if it's a shop where they get like a 10% discount or something like that, you can drop the price on things. And then I use RPG Tinker if I ever need like a random, you know, NPC stat block or something. Either that or I'll use Tetra. Where's that one at on my list of things? Where is it? Do I not actually have it saved? Oh, wow. Yeah, I usually use Tetra for a lot of things. Hey, Cut Gag. For example, I used this whenever I needed a Goblin Rogue in the P5 campaign the other day. There it is. This is Cut Gag. Here's all of his stuff. It's really nice to be able to go in and just, you know, generate a character and just get something. Look at that. We got an Orc Bard College of Creation, and the beautiful thing, it uses art. There we go. But yeah, I've actually never tried this one before. I do like the shop though. I like you can lock stuff in. That's good. Ooh, that's sick. I'm gonna use this more often. 100% gonna use this more often. Okay, hold on. Actually, what's his name? I just introduced a character in my P5 session the other day, and I can't remember his name. That's right, Lorik. And he runs a smithy. Hold on, let's change this to smithy. We're gonna lock that. Hey, nope. Come on, give me a smithy. Give me a smithy. I want to see what you do with a smithy. No. Does the name not really matter, I guess? I mean, I could just change it to whatever, but I want to see what it goes to. Come on, I've seen carriage like 5 or 6 times. I've seen smithy once. Workshop's not too bad, but smithy. We need a smithy. We're gonna lock that. We're gonna re-roll this. I'm liking these little descriptions on the side here. Ooh, okay. You, I mean, I wouldn't go with his arcane dispensary. I would do Lorik's fire forged arms. There we go. All right, Yorick's Fireforged Arms is a beautiful and spacious smithy. The shop has a dog that growls at bad offers and is protected by the fact that all items on display are illusory. That's just cool. Fairness, I treat others with respect and kindness. I have a hard time being true to myself and often bend to the will of others. I'm fiercely protective of a personal place. So, okay, cool. And preset, we want town. Okay, that's actually some pretty good options there. Let's do city. Wow, okay, we got a lot of items. And metropolis. Okay, we got some higher value stuff now. And I'm guessing, good. I already have that. I can always go and see what they are anywhere else. Okay, so yeah, we'll keep it 1d10. We'll keep the price under, I'm gonna say 1,500 gold. He is going to carry armor, rings, weapons, and staves. We're definitely gonna just stick to common, uncommon, rare, and very rare. And oh shit, I meant to lock those. Ring, weapon, armor, and staves. Let's raise this up to 1,500. Let's go up to very rare. And sure. There we go. That's a nice little setup there. Ring of X-ray vision. Okay. Yeah. Honestly, this is one of those ones that I haven't used before, so it's cool. Put the link up in there. Save and edit. What I do? Save and edit. It's like not loading anything. What did the party come across? Isildur is a dwarf who gave up his life as a noble to become a merchant. He wears oversized glasses and is pompous and courteous. He dislikes warlocks and sorcerers and favors barbarians and fighters. Love, I will spread joy. I'm prone to laziness and have a hard time staying motivated. Fiercely devoted to my faith, will not compromise my beliefs. What does he do? It's a messy castle. Interesting. Cool. All right, let's get back to where we were. Finishing up this little discussion about the Tales of the Valiant. Yeah, pompous and courteous are definitely contradictory. You gotta play with that shit. Okay, actually we did just finish up on here. All right, so yeah, gotta crack my back. I like these characters. I really do. I like these characters. I like stat blocks look pretty, or the character sheets look really nice. I like how, this stuff is kind of front and center. It's the important information. It is very condensed. I mean, there's not really any wasted space on this first page. I mean, other than the name and the big your name, but everything is there. So that's pretty sick. No, I'm not making changes. Could if I wanted, don't care to worry about it. No. Close that. So yeah. Like, I'm gotta say, I like the wizard. Definitely where I'm leaning more towards the wizard, but I just like wizards in general. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably not gonna go over the alpha today. I might have time this week to do its own stream, because I do want to go over this and kind of review everything and look at it all. Just not gonna lie, I'm a bit tired tonight. My back is sore, plus my niece and nephew are over, and they normally sleep in this room over on the big bed, so I don't want to be on too long this evening. So I think we're going to shift gears a little, and we are going to jump over to some questions. Some questions have been asked over in my Discord channel that we can address and kind of go from there. I wish I did their Kickstarter. Well, like I said, you can just go on their you can go on to their main website and buy it. So okay, why hold the phone, there we go. Okay, that's good. All right, so we are going to answer the first question that was asked over in the Discord. If you are curious, if you are out there watching this live or after the fact on VOD, if you would like to ask, if you have questions for me, feel free to ask them here in the chat while we're live, or head over to my Discord. The link is above me, or you can click the About button below the stream. There is the DM Advice Corner over there. You can ask your questions and get some responses. And I'm not the only one over there that answers questions. There are some knowledgeable folks over there, such as Hawketh and Ms. Roy. Hawketh, much like myself, has played D&D for some time. Ms. Roy is very knowledgeable about Pathfinder. So there is a number of folks over there willing to chat and help with stuff. So I think Hawketh also played Pathfinder, if I'm not mistaken. But we're going to jump into our first question of the night with, so I was wondering about the viability of a strategy. If I have my spider familiar put a strand of web across a hallway or door at roughly neck height, and then cast immovable object on it, will it decapitate someone running into it? I feel like a movable object would stop it from breaking, and it'd be thin enough to cut if it couldn't move. So this is referring to a second level spell in the Explorer's Guide to Wildmount, page 187. And it reads that for one action for 1 hour, with a gold cost of 25 gold, which it consumes, you can touch an object that weighs no more than 10 pounds and cause it to be magically fixed in place. You can set a password to deactivate this, and you can also designate creatures that can ignore this. If it is fixed in the air, it can hold up to 4,000 pounds in weight. More weight causes it to fall. Otherwise, a creature can use an action to make a strength check against your spell save DC. On a success, the creature can move the object up to 10 feet. Now, this is very similar, if you don't know about it, this is very similar to the immovable rod, which is an uncommon magic item where you press a button. It is an iron rod. When you activate it, it becomes fixed in place. It needs 8,000 pounds of weight to move it, but it can be moved with a DC 30 strength check. So it's incredibly difficult to move this thing. So, to the question, will it decapitate someone running into it? No. So here's the thing. if in this scenario, now, and I do want to say one thing. I can only expand upon this idea as if it was presented to me in a game, okay? Because this is very rules as intended. But spiderweb is definitely an object. You could cast it upon this. I would argue, though, that if you cast spiderweb on a, or if you cast a movable object on spiderweb, it may not move, but it is not going to be, it does not suddenly become garrote wire, okay? The concept of somebody running into it at about neck height would constitute a trigger for the strength check to move it. Okay? So somebody on their turn in combat is moving and hits this. They are not they are not moving at a pace by which they could be decapitated. 2, it is only spiderweb. Even though it is fixed in place, this does not like magically increase the tensile strength of spiderweb. Okay, if for example I took a wooden block and cast a movable object on it, I can still light that thing on fire, and those wisps of smoke are still going to come off, and ash is still going to float away, and it will eventually dissolve into nothing. It'll eventually burn away. You would have to argue that it cannot be broken, and that its tensile strength would magically increase as well. So I would say, again, if this was presented to me at my table, if a spider familiar puts a strand of web across a hallway at roughly neck height, and a movable object is cast on it, will it decapitate somebody running into it? No. The act of attempting to move through the spider web's space would trigger the strength save needed to move the object. If it failed, the creature is simply, I guess not stopped. If it fails, the creature can still move around it. If it succeeds, the spider web is moved as per the spell. So that's it. Like, and even if you were to argue, okay, like me and somebody are running down a hallway, they're chasing me, I run 30 feet ahead and through a doorway, and on my way through, because this is one action, as I'm going, I have my spider familiar shoot a single thread across the doorway, and as I'm moving up to it, and when I get close to it, I duck under and I touch the spider web and I cast a movable object and I go. That person that's chasing you is gonna see you duck under it, okay? They're gonna see you doing something, and even a 10 on perception is gonna like give them the insight that you just you moved under something, so they're not gonna take the risk. They're gonna go under. And granted, even if it is just a dumb animal or something like that, at most what is gonna happen is you're gonna hit this thing and just kind of like clothesline yourself and be knocked prone. So if it came down to it, at its limit, I would allow it to knock them prone if they fail the saving throw. Now, arguments could be made of if you are running from somebody and, you know, if, like, let's say that you are a rogue with some levels in wizard and you have this, okay? Or that you are just a wizard and you have your robes flowing and you're running from something and you grab one of your daggers as you put it just next to your hip so that it's barely perceptible, and you cast immovable object on that. When somebody is right behind you and they're running up to you, you could make the argument that if they run into that, they might take that weapon's damage. So, you know, you could cast a movable object on like a dagger, a short sword, you know, a long sword. But even to that, I would still say as the DM that that particular enemy could make a dexterity saving throw based on doing it. Like, the way that I might play it out is that you as the player would have to make a stealth check or sleight of hand to do it without being perceived. And if you fail that, then they get to make a dexterity saving throw to avoid running into it. Otherwise, they just take some damage and, you know, okay, crap, I gotta move around it. But yeah, definitely not gonna decapitate anybody. Absolutely not. All right. The second question that was asked over there, this was apparently found on Facebook. If a character is invisible, will they cast a shadow? And if you cast pass with, it's not pass without a trace, it is pass without trace. That is a fucking mistype that I hate every time I see it. It is pass without trace. All right, so the first question, do they cast a shadow? Well, let's look at the condition of being invisible. An invisible creature is impossible to see without the aid of magic or a special sense. For the purpose of hiding, the creature is heavily obscured. The creature's location can be detected by any noise it makes or any tracks it leaves. So, here is the thing. Heavily obscured has... we need to go into vision. Quick reference, vision and line of sight. So heavily obscured is darkness, opaque fog, dense foliage, blocking vision entirely. A creature suffers from the blind condition when in there. So they are heavily obscured. That makes them, that is part of this. But if the argument here is if, for example, the spell invisibility is cast on a player where they cannot be seen, much like Hawketh said in the Discord, we're using real life science, no light particles would be hitting the target, because that's how we see things. Light hits a thing, it bounces into our eyes, we can then see the thing. If to be invisible, light has to pass completely through you, which actually makes being invisible that you're blind. That's a thing, that if you actually were invisible, you would be blind because no light can hit your eye to give you vision. But it's magic. So arguably, Do they cast a shadow while invisible? I'm gonna split these up into 2 questions. There we go. Do they cast a shadow? Nope. Not how light works. How about pass without trace? Any shadow cast with that? Now, Hawketh said over there, pass without trace doesn't really state anything besides, we'll pull it up here. A creature that receives this bonus leaves behind no tracks or other traces of its passage. So a DM could say that shadow is a trace of passage. I would argue no about what Hawketh says. So here's the thing. When a creature casts pass without trace, there is a veil of shadows and silence that radiates around you. It masks you and your companions from detection. And for 1 hour, each creature that you choose within 30 feet of you gets that +10 bonus to stealth and can't be tracked by magical means, and that any creature that receives this leaves behind no tracks or other traces of its passage. Tracks would be in dirt, sand, snow, mud, rock, chalk, water. There's no sign that you moved through that area. It also means that you don't leave mud behind on your shoes. Okay, so you're not traipsing it around. Any water that's dripping off of you is not staying there. It is magically disappearing as to not allow you to be tracked. But this does not necessarily mean that light is impervious to you. Okay? If anything, I would argue that because it says in the beginning, a veil of shadows radiates from you, if anything, you are casting more shadows. Now, I would argue that if, for example, you cast Pass Without Trace on yourself and somebody behind you cast Daylight or cast Light, your shadow would not be, and you stood there in a T-pose, okay, and a wall was in front of you. I personally don't think that you are going to see a T-posed shadow. I think you are going to see a blob of shadow. Okay, so that is what I would argue, is that do you cast any shadow with Pass Without Trace? Yes, lots of them, which can obscure your own shadow and make you harder to detect. There you go. Nope, that's wrong. Couldn't spell it. So yeah, I would say if anything, you have a big glob of shadow around you. So if you were, trying to sneak across a rooftop, you're not going to see on the ground like, Peter Pan's shadow moving across the thing. You're just going to see like a blob of shadow from wherever you moved. So just thinking about it, I feel like I imagine invisible worked closer to the invisibility cloak in Harry Potter, so you physically don't change, but magic. So that's the thing. When you have something like the cloak of invisibility from Harry Potter, you have to argue, is it literally magically, somehow projecting what is on the other side of it? Because here's the problem with making things invisible. Light needs to pass through it fully in order for something to be invisible. Now, you can create that effect by warping light around objects they make these giant, like, not mirrored, but like lenticular shields that, like, the way that light hits it, it kind of wraps around it, and it makes anything behind it seem invisible. But the problem is that when you start getting into the realm of magic, then it just becomes like, oh, well, it's literally just, you know, magic. You are there, but you're like, your perception, like, nobody's just able to see you. Like it doesn't make you anything. It actually stops light from bouncing off of you. Okay. You know, like something like that, or any light that hits you is fully absorbed and cannot escape. Okay. Or, you know, and again, you can also argue, if I had a cloak that, or if I had something that I could put on where every part of it was a display, like if I had a giant blanket that was some kind of digital display, and it could detect where it was in physical space and somehow get a video feed of what things were supposed to look like through that space, you could arguably make an invisibility cloak. It's impossible to do, but again, it kind of comes down to, how do you determine how invisible things work? And in the way that I would see it, it is whatever the magic is making it so that light passes through you, therefore you have no shadow. So that's the way that I look at it. All right, so the last question that was asked, it says, this is highly paraphrased from a Facebook post, but for me leans into the notion of organization and prep. What tips do you have for remembering things in the moment? Okay, don't look at it because invisible. Yeah. What tips do you have for remembering things in the moment in game, or tips for when you do forget something important? Examples like forgetting important stats of the main monster you're using, such as forgetting some recharge ability or to use legendary action, or what you might do when you wanted an NPC to relay information to the party, but due to various reasons forgot to have the NPC say part of the information. Okay. So truth be told, I don't have very many tips for like remembering things in the moment, other than if there is something that you want to make sure that you relay to your party at some point. It's kind of like, you know, it's kind of that's what I'm looking for, like old school. It's very layman. Sticky notes. Like, seriously, I keep 4 packs of sticky notes next to my desk, and anytime that I need to remember something, I just write it down and I stick it to my computer right in front of me. I'll stick it to like the little bezel around my computer, and if it's something that I can for one, I have to remember it, but if I remember it, I will put it on my computer, and I will sometimes do that as I'm playing. Like, it's why I keep a little Lego pencil holder next to me. It's why I keep them right next to one another. And if I need to write some little thing, I can stick it to my computer, or I can put it on my desk, and at the end of the session I can go back to them and I can look at them. So that's gonna be my first thing. Sticky notes. Now, like the example that you put there, forgetting important stats of a monster, such as a legendary action or recharge ability, I don't have good tips to tell you because I forget shit all the time. And in reality, you are going to forget stuff here and there. Now, here's the thing about my DM style and other DMs styles as well. There are DMs out there that roll on tables, fly by the seat of their pants, drop in monsters that they don't know 90% of their abilities, but they'll, you know, I was just playing with Duragar yesterday. Okay, so let's look at a hammerer. Okay, so a Duragar hammerer. I could throw, oh my god, that's sick. I could throw this guy into a combat, and real quick, I'm going to notice the actions first, okay? It makes 2 attacks with its claw and with its hammer. I can see its damage types. That's great. All right, I'm probably not going to need to worry about Siege Monster, the fact that it deals double damage to objects and structures, but I might just run this as a stat block because it offers a little bit of variety. Like if I have a bunch of Duragar for some reason, maybe I'm running that kind of an adventure. But if I have just a bunch of Duragar that I'm, you know, running through, I might throw this guy in and it might be the end of the session and I'm like, oh shit, once per turn a creature that attacks it can target the Duragar trapped in it. It has disadvantage on the attack roll, and on a hit it deals an extra 1d10 damage to the hammer, and the hammer can respond by using its multi-attack as an action. So I might go the entire session and not realize, oh shit, if somebody attacks the dwarf or the Duragar inside of this, you know, mech, they get to deal extra damage, but I get to do a multi-attack as a reaction. Another example is with this character. I used this character last night in my Rime of the Frost Maiden game. Now, the thing is that I personally change stat blocks from what they have listed in a lot of places, because for one, this is a challenge rating, well, actually, hold on. Is this, no, yeah, it's, yeah, because there's 2 of them. That was the thing, like, there's 2 of these listed, okay? But the thing is that I have to, because here's the one that I used. So I have to raise the CR of creatures for my Rime of the Frost Maiden game because that campaign is designed for 4 to 5 players and is at the point where we're at designed for 5th to 6th level characters. Rime of the Frost Maiden's character lineup is 6 level 8 characters with some broken ass abilities for some of them. So I have to up everything that I do. So for example, the player, so with that encounter that the players faced yesterday, they were supposed to just fight 9 Duragar. Okay, that was it. They were just supposed to fight 9 Duragar. Now, a single Duragar is CR1. It has the ability to enlarge, has the ability to turn invisible. Its attacks are +4. They do 1d6 or 1d8 +2, and if it's large, it just gets an extra die roll. So that's it. There's nothing crazy, there's nothing special about them. If I had dropped 9 of these, that encounter would have been over in minutes, okay? but I want the encounters to mean something. The players walked into a place without plan or thought, kicked down a door where they heard kind of dwarvish words being spoken on the other side, knowing that they were entering a hostile environment, and were planning to just go in guns a-blazing. I needed to put them into a fight. So I swapped out the Duergar for Duergar Stone Guards. They have the ability to enlarge as a bonus action, not as an action. They can do it faster. They have invisibility, which didn't work. They make 2 attacks instead of only making 1. Their attacks are a +6 to hit, and they deal an additional 2 points of damage. Not only that, but whereas these ones, the regular Duergar, only get charmed and paralyzed resistance, the Stone Guard also get poison resistance. I also gave them, they have this phalanx formation where they have advantage on attacks and dex saves while standing within 5 feet of an ally wielding a shield. Now, here's the thing. When I was prepping this particular encounter, I really liked this phalanx formation ability. So I said, okay, the Duergar Warlord also gets this. He also gets the phalanx ability, so he gets advantage when there's somebody next to him. But I also gave him, because he has this call to action where it's up to 3 allied Duergar can make a reaction attack whenever he shouts to them, I gave it so that as long as there were 3 allies within sight of him, he also resisted frightened condition because he was like, with his crew. So these are small, minor things that I had written down on a piece of paper. I had written down on a note when I was going to prep that session right before we ran it. And that helped. But here's the thing. I never once used this ability down at the bottom. This scouring instruction. When an ally that the Duergar can see makes a d20 roll, they can roll a d6 and add it to that d20 by taking 3 points of psychic damage. A creature immune to psychic damage can't be affected by this ability. So anytime that one of the other Duergar missed, this guy could have used his reaction to give them an extra d6. They would just have to take that. They just have to take some damage. Slagger was all the way in the back and didn't know crap. Yeah. You're like, I'm here for a psi crystal. That's what I'm here for. Oh, my back. Hold on. 1 second. I gotta go crack my back real fast. All right, sorry about that. I was starting to get a bit of a pain in my lower back. Where's the music? There we go. All right. So yeah, back to what I was saying. I really don't have great tips to remember, you know, every monster's ability. The most that I can really say is, one, spend time when you are prepping your encounters, spend time reading the stat blocks. Okay. Don't prep your encounters hours before the session if you can help it. Okay, give yourself, you know, the day before, give yourself a few hours before your session where you can sit down and, you know, actually look through them. Now, this does take some know-how into understanding how long an encounter might take, how long your session is, how many encounters are you going to have the opportunity to run. You know, for example, I assumed that the players would be able to get through the encounter yesterday a little bit faster. Now, I did not plan for them to get to do very much more, rather than getting into the place and possibly having that encounter, or heading down to the right passage, like, I mean, not right as in like the correct, but, you know, left versus right, and possibly, you know, finding that that Duragar that met them at the very end, Grandalfa, or exploring other areas if they had not gone into that first one. But I had that set up before I did anything else, so I had that in there and ready to go, and I knew for the most part what abilities I had to focus on. Okay, because I only had 2 stat blocks to really worry about. All I had to know is that as long as they're within an ally, they get phalanx formation, they get 2 attacks, the damage is already set before me. The moment I realized invisibility was off the table, it was a bloodbath. And they could also enlarge, but the problem is that they needed room to do that. That particular chamber was not great for that. So, you know, that's just one of those things. So I would say sticky notes, prep your encounters, a few hours. Well, I would say prep your encounters at least a few hours before the session. In addition to this, while your players are role-playing with one another, just quickly scan the stat blocks prior to battle. So not only are you going, you know, the barbarian kicks down the door, all the Duragar turn to him, and, you know, they shout something in undercommon, and all of a sudden, roll initiative. All right. While everybody's rolling initiative, you know, and I personally use a VTT that rolls my monster's initiative for me, so I'm not having to roll a bunch of dice. In that moment, though, I can go in and just, like, real quickly glance up and down them just to kind of remind myself. So, you know, that's it. Now, the other thing is that luckily the virtual tabletop that I use, Encounter Plus, has these stat blocks available. So I can click them and have them presented in front of me. Now, again, that doesn't mean that I'm always just going to remember everything, because, like I said, I completely forgot about this scouring instruction until after the combat. So that's just one of those things. Tools or resources, when sticky notes is one, be able to... Yeah, well, so that's the thing. I talk about my resources all the time. Like, a virtual tabletop, 5e.tools. That's it. I mean, when I'm running a session, here, for example, I'll pull up my Rime of the Frost Maiden one. Oop, don't know why that happened. When I run a session, this is what I'm looking at, okay? Let me pull up Icewind Dale, and we'll pull up Sunblight. So here we go. This is what I look at when I run on here. And if I need to see a monster, like if I need to look up a stat block or something, I'll look it up here in the corner. And cool, Durgar Warlord. And I'll open this up just in a new window, and I'll move between it and back to where I was. By the end of my sessions, I will have about 20 different tabs open, because I generally don't close them until after the session, in case I just need to go back to them. On top of that, I always have every single one of my players' character sheets open so that I can review them as the session goes on, and so that, you know, oh, well, on, you know, on Gerard's turn, he says that he wants to cast, I don't know, Darkness. Okay, well, cool. I can go down and I can, you know, quickly scan over it and see that it's a 15-foot sphere that goes around corners and blah, 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 blah. So a good virtual tabletop is indispensable, and 5e.tools is my primary resource. So those are the resources. But yeah, physically, like, I use a sticky note. Using a, okay. The thing is Google Chrome really eats up your computer's resources if you have a ton of tabs open. Okay. That is something to take into consideration. I'm lucky enough to have 32 gigs of RAM. My computer can handle 20 tabs. Some computers slow down. I also have the luxury of having 3-4 monitors. So I have a big array that I'm able to put everything I need around me. When you're more limited to resources, physical resources, having something like 5e.tools where you can see everything, and maybe splitting up your screen to have, you know, a DM sheet on there, and having, like, you know, D&D Beyond on another side, that's kind of, you know, what you have to figure out. Now, I will say this is just a general resource. 5e.tools has a digital DM screen. Okay? If you did not actually know that, it has its own DM screen. I can't actually, I don't want to have to, shit, hold on. So let me just save this to file real fast. Okay. So if we there we go. I can't remember why I can't break this up. I know I combined these at one point. Here we go, reset screen. So on 5e.tools, you can go to Dungeon Master and go to DM screen. This is what it's going to look like originally. Okay. This is where, like, when you actually have a physical DM screen that has different tabs and things that you might want to know on the fly, you can go in and straight up reference stuff. So if you want to remember what your proficiency bonuses are at any given moment, if you want to know what weapons there are at a quick reference, you can do that. If you want to know what armor, you know, what the quick reference for armor is, if you need to know about living expenses. Oh wait, here we'll do expenses. There we go. Quick reference. You know, because this will tell you how much ale is, how much a room for a night, depending on the kind of place that it is. If you want to know about traps, okay, maybe you're running a campaign where you're using a lot of traps. So, you know, you can go into here, you can go into the book itself, and let's say that you want the Dungeon Master's Guide and you want the whole section on running the game. Okay, you can do this. Now, personally, the DM screen that I run with, load from file. This is the DM screen that I use technically for both of my campaigns, because I have one for Rime of the Frost Maiden and I have one for the Phandalin 5. But they're both basically the exact same, except for the map you see on one side. Now, I have this set up a very specific way because, as you can see, there's one big panel here. And I can do that by clicking the little icon up here in this corner, and I can actually, you know, condense this down as big and small as I need. Like if I actually wanted to add another section of notes here, I could do that. But this works for me because what I can do is I actually have this panel right here. This is literally just, I'm running another version of 5e.tools in 5e.tools. So I can go in here, I can go down to Icewind Dale, I can go into the adventures, I can see everything I need to see. And one of the things that I do fairly regularly is if I'm running a map or if I'm running a dungeon, I'll actually bring up this one, the one that has like the locations and stuff on it, and I will copy the link, come back over here and go to the image on the right, and I will paste this image into there so that while I'm running it, I can keep this map on my side and continue moving down through the whole adventure. It's exactly how I ran it yesterday. Now, the nice thing is that while I'm doing this, I have access to stuff that I need to see fairly often. Okay, if I need to see how much damage a certain weapon does or what the value of it is, I have it listed right here. I have the same thing for armor. I have access to see all the basic tools that are available. The living expenses is a big one because it's, you know, good to be able to see how much a mug of ale is or how much a room is. I have the listing and rules on cover. I also have vision and light. I have travel pace, which I reference all the time. Basic wealth. So how much does a gold equal up to a platinum? How many pieces of silver into a gold? Concentration. This one I had to physically type in because it's not just like listed somewhere cleanly in the book. But I actually just had to reference this yesterday. Whenever Gerard had his flying snakes and I threw a javelin at him, and I had to come over here to remember that the DC equals 10 or half the damage you take, whichever is higher. I also have the rules about falling as well as long jumps and high jumps. Yes, you can type in your own stuff. So when you go to add something, and it gives you this, so you have content which will give you every single entry that exists on on 5e.tools. So as you can see right here, there is another almost 20,000 entries that it's not showing. And you can categorize it down. So like if I wanted specifically, you know, a bear trap, I could pop that on. You can also have rules. depending on what specifically you're looking for. I personally prefer the quick reference stuff because it's not just like full straight out sections of the book, but stuff like this, like if you are going to run a chase scene, this would be a great one to have. Maybe wouldn't put it on such a big panel, but if you were running a chase scene, you could very easily just go over here, come back down to chases, and as you're running it, you could have whatever on this left hand side and be able to go in here and just reference these notes. And if it's something that you are doing a lot of, you can just keep it there. So in addition to that, you have full on the sections from different adventures. So right here we have the mission to Thay from Rise of the Tiamat. What else we got? We got refine your search. Yeah, so let's say I'm running Lost Mines of Phandelver, wherever that is. Here we go, Lost Mines of Phandelver. Okay, and I want the whole Wave Echo Cave. Oh, there we go. I got the whole Wave Echo Cave. Now again, the way that I run this is, we'll get to that because it's kind of the cheat around this. You got the full books, again, player's handbook, DM guide. You can also just put an image. Now this right here, the adventure map dynamic viewer, this is actually a really cool feature about 5e.tools. So let's go up here to DM. We'll go to adventure, and I'm gonna pull up Lost Mines of Phandelver. We're gonna go to Wave Echo Cave, and when you see the map, so you have the player map and you have the DM map. Now as you can see, it says player version, and then this has this little symbol. Now if I open this map up for the DM, it's just a map, okay, and it just has the symbols over it. But you can click this button underneath, and it actually gives you a dynamic map that is clickable and usable when running the game. So you can click this section where it has one, and it gives you that section's worth of notes, and then you'll have that to read through because it's only just this little bit, and then you can go to the second part and it creates a new one, and you can pop these out, like you can make these into their own windows. Now I don't generally do that, and that's just because of the way that I have my things set up. But you can have that in here. You can actually go in and select, okay, let's pull up White Plume Mountain. Cool. We want the actual mountain itself. Well, there we go. We now have this at our ready as we want it. And I could have put it over here where I have the Icewind Dale map. So it's a really great feature. You can use that DM screen feature for your own, or I don't know what you mean. Wait, are you saying the DM version of the map? Because like this is specific to the maps. It's not necessary. This isn't like a DM screen feature. This is a feature specifically for the map. In fact, I think all maps for, you said you were using what is called, okay, so this is the DM screen. Like this little multi-paneled thing, this is the DM screen. I was just showing things that you could add to this. And one of the things that you can add is these dynamic maps. Hi, Bo. I just don't know what you mean by, can you use that DM screen feature? I don't know what feature you're referring to. While you explain that, I'm going to continue on. Can you add, what do you mean your own creations? I don't know what that means. Like, what do you mean your own creation? Because you can, like I said, you can just do straight text. Like, if you just want to add a text field, you can just add like a blank space, or you can add a basic text box. I don't know what you mean by your own creations, though. I meant the feature in 5e.tools that is the DM screen. I legit don't know what you're asking. What do you mean, can you add your own creations, your own... Oh, wait, are you asking if you can add your own homebrew to 5e.tools? I'm just trying to grasp the concept that you are asking. Can you use that DM screen feature for your own creations? You said to use... to use in the DM screen. Okay. I think I understand what you're getting at now. So if you wanted to have your own homebrew in the DM screen, it depends on how you where you have it. Okay, that's the thing. If, for example, like if I had like I mean, I guess depending on what it is, because you can go in here and you can embed a URL. So if I opened up, say, the complete guide, like if I uploaded a PDF to a website, I could embed that onto here and have it pull up in there. Okay. Now I know for a fact you cannot embed D&D Beyond. I know that to be very true. But let's just say, for example, maybe you wanted, let's say that you were using, say, ChatGPT for, you know, some of your random tables and stuff like that. Okay, or for flavor text that you might want to do. You could put in here, you could embed ChatGPT, and then you could log into it in here and access that website. You know, you could we just talked about it. We talked about Eventier's shop generator. So we could go into there and we could embed that, and there you go. So I can now, you know, I could go down here to the bottom left and I can change this to shop generator, and then, you know, now I have access to this. So, like, yes, you can add your own stuff. You just kind of have to, you know, finagle it some way. Like I said, anything under content, rules, adventures, books, that is anything that is on 5e.tools. It has to be on there. Image can be anything. Embedded can be a URL and it'll generally pull up the site. Again, I know for a fact D&D Beyond doesn't work because I have tried to have, I wanted to at one point have all the players' character sheets up on one screen, and it just doesn't work that way. Or you can go here into special, and there are very specific things. So for example, if I wanted to have a dice roller down here in the corner at all times. So let me move this over. So let's say I wanted to have the dice roller that I personally prefer having down here in the bottom right. Okay. But I could have that. I could have an initiative tracker that actually did work. I've used it. I've used it before. Here, let me move that over again. I'll put it in here. The initiative tracker actually works pretty well. It's very rudimentary, but it totally works for what you need. We also have the player view, because you can actually send this to your players, and your players can use 5e.tools to actually see the initiative. So that was a really nice feature when they finally added that. What else we got? Pinned list entries. So that's basically anything that you might have, you know, specific options on. But you would just have to load that in. Basic text box, you know, just for whatever you need. Then we got our unit converter. So, you know, whatever you need there. And there we go. Wait, why did I lose that button in the corner? Hold on, I gotta reload that. There we go. All right, so let's move that over here. Go back to special. Yeah, so we got coin converter. So we'll go like 5 gold and 6 platinum is 65 gold. Okay, and we're gonna split that between 6 players. There we go. That's how much everybody gets. We got a counter, which is just a very basic counter. I never really understood the reasoning behind that one. We got the in-game clock / calendar. This is one that I almost used, but just didn't. But it does actually kind of keep track of it pretty well. But you do have to go in and like change stuff as you go, because it's one of those things that you have to actually go in and set all the parameters for it, and I really did not want to. Plus, I also just prefer using another website, so that's my own preference. And lastly, the blank space, just so you can have, you know, just a buffer if you just want to, you know, you just don't want to have that big plus button when it's there. But overall, that is like still in the middle of the stream, buddy. Overall, that is like my main tool. That is like the biggest thing. Realistically, it just, however you as a DM, when you use this, you got to find what works for you. I personally spent maybe like 3 years figuring out exactly the way that I wanted this to be before I like locked myself in. When I started running my game at the local library, I knew exactly how I wanted it though. That was very convenient because I knew the things that I need to have at my fingertips, but that's not always something, the stuff that I need at my fingertips is not the same thing that every other DM needs. So it's a great tool. It just needs to be customized to your own needs and preferences. So back to this question, because there is a second part to this that I do want to address. What might you do when you wanted an NPC to relay information to the party, but due to various reasons forgot to have the NPC say the part of information? This is actually a really easy fix. I'm gonna I don't have to worry about anything. Damn, that didn't work. Prep your encounters at least few hours before session and scan the stab blocks prior to the battle. That's fine. Fuck it. We'll just start on a new table. Okay, so what happens when an NPC, when you wanted to relay information to the party, but you forgot? You have a couple options, okay? Let's actually make this its own thing. All right. So what's the first thing? Retcon it. Simple. As you move through the town, a dark elf approaches you wearing scholarly clothes. You recognize them. This is the local city wizard Arya. They wear like I said, they wear scholarly robes. They're very inquisitive, but you can see they are flustered. They approach the party and they say, I've been looking everywhere for you, blah 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 blah. And then I must be away. I have business to attend to, those damn warlocks and sorcerers that I must train in the morning. Damn them. And then they move on. Okay? Party goes about their business. A moment comes up, you realize, shit. Arya was supposed to tell them that to get into the temple in the swamp of Volgoon, they needed to recite the phrase that he gave them in Draconic. Okay, so Arya comes up, says, "You'll be traveling to the swamps of Volgoon. There you will find a temple buried under the water. Speak this phrase will gain you entrance." And you realize, 20 minutes later, shit, that was supposed to be in Draconic, and I wanted to give that to my players. Well, you have a couple options. You can just retcon it fully. Sorry, I forgot to mention that so-and-so said this before they left. Okay, simple enough. Just say, okay, hey, you guys remember whenever you talked to Arya and when he said about going to the swamps of Volgoon to speak the letter or speak the words that he gave you on that piece of paper? Yeah. He meant to say it needs to be spoken in Draconic. Oh, okay, cool. Thanks. Simple. You could have it where if you realize it, in a time frame where it makes sense that NPC could still be around. All right, just role play the scene again. Okay, Arya approaches you, seems flustered, blah, blah, blah. The swamps of Volgoon, blah, blah, blah. Here's the letter, here's the passphrase. I must be away, I guess. Must prepare for my lesson tomorrow with those damn warlocks and sorcerers. He goes away. Party goes about their business. Maybe they're in town prepping some supplies and buying some stuff, or, you know, doing something else before they head out to the swamps. And you realize, and then so as the party's about to leave, you could have Arya show up again, and he's waiting at the gate as they're about to leave. Says, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I forgot to mention that phrase needs to be spoken in Draconic. You must speak it in Draconic." Or have another NPC show up. Maybe it's his young ward or his young apprentice, who is named Franklin Underbow, who's a fucking warlock. That's so perfect. Let's find a different one. Let's make him a wizard. There we go. Tordid Under Earth. So, you know, all of a sudden you see a Duragar wizard wearing some scholarly clothes, and they approach you and they say, "Hey, I was sent by Arya. Meant to tell you something about the letter. The passphrase he gave you needs to be spoken in Draconic. Yeah, sorry, bye." And yeah, okay, cool. That's all it is. Simple as that. So again, that could just be a full retcon. Have them just come back. You could RP the NPC coming back and giving the information. Have a different NPC offer the same information. Or what honestly would probably be one of the better options, have that information somehow be available wherever it is needed. Now, that is very situational, okay? There might be a situation where you have to get that information to the players before they go and do something. But in this particular scenario where Arya is giving them this passphrase to enter the vault or the temple in the Swamp of Volgoon, you could, and you forget to tell them that it needs to be spoken in Draconic. All you gotta do, put some lizard folk around there, okay? Put some aggressive lizard folk, or maybe put some lizard folk that are fighting some Yuan-Ti, and have the party intervene and help the lizard folk. And when the lizard folk help guide them to this temple, and they say, we have this passphrase, so the party goes down, they go up to this temple that's in the swamp, that's under a little, they have to go underwater and come up in this cave or something. And they get there, maybe some of the lizard folk have gone with them, and one of the players reads the word, and it's something like from within the swamp I call the doors open. And they read this out, nothing happens. And the lizard folk says, what does it say? And it's like, well, it says, from under the swamp, let thy doors open. Or, they repeat it back in Draconic, and all of a sudden the doors open. They're like, oh shit, should have been in Draconic. This way, when the players eventually go back to Arya with whatever they have, they can be like, you should have told us it was Draconic. Luckily there were some lizard folks there. So other than retconning, RPing the NPC coming back and giving the information, or having a different NPC offer the information in a different way that promotes either role-playing or exploration. because that's another option. You could have it where the players get there. Maybe they don't have the lizard folks there, but they can see on the walls. They can see on the walls there is words written in Draconic. And granted, you'd have to have a player that knows Draconic, but, you know, that could be an option. So, and maybe the wizard in the party casts Comprehend Languages. They know that it's Draconic. Somebody casts Tongues. You're able to speak Draconic. Like, there's options. But that is how I would do it, personally. Like, if I forgot to tell the party something... so here, let me rephrase that. I would want to do this. I would want to do option D, where you offer it in a different way that like promotes some kind of role play. I would prefer, in most quick situations, to just like RP the NPC coming back or have another NPC deliver it. But I know I have personally just retconned stuff. Literally in yesterday's session, I was like, hey, I have to retcon this last scene that happened in the previous session. It's a big scene. And I was like, shit, because I wanted to run Sunblight. I wanted to run the temple, the dungeon in Rime of the Frostmaiden differently than what it is in the book. And because of that, because I was just going by the book, I read that and I was like, fuck, and I realized it after. I was like, I have to go back and retcon this scene. So, but I think that's actually where I'm gonna end up calling it for the night. So we got through a couple questions on here. We talked a little bit about the Tales of the Valiant. We got to see some of those cool stat blocks, and we discussed some of the tools here on 5e.tools. So I think this is a retcon to add or take away, whatever. Yeah, I mean, it's sometimes you have to. Sometimes you fuck shit up, or you know, you got to throw something in somewhere. At the end of the day, you know, at the end of the day, it is just a game that is being played with 5 to 6 people, and as long as you say, hey, you know, I fucked up and I got to change this one thing, let's just roll with it. Yeah, that's it. Just gotta own those situations. But like I said, that is gonna do it for me tonight. We've been going. It's not as long as I normally do my Monday streams, but I'm very tired. It's 1 a.m. Like I said, my niece and nephew are over, and they probably want to go to bed soon, and I need to get some bed, or get to bed. I need to get some sleep. So thanks for hanging out with me, everybody. Stacy, Jared, I know Glenn was here earlier. Death Dice and Dungeons had stopped by. We had a new follower today, so awesome on that. And yeah, just want to say thanks for hanging out with me. So folks, have a wonderful night, enjoy yourselves, have a good Tuesday. Lurkin, yeah buddy, I see you there. I'll see you tomorrow, Glenn. But I don't know what my schedule looks like for my next Pathfinder game, because it would be Wednesday this week, possibly tomorrow because of scheduling. I don't know that. So if you are curious, there within the next 2 days there will be an update to Bo's journal, the excerpts from Bo's journal, over at the Discord. So if you want to find out about my my little Shoonie Bard's adventures, head over to the Discord, and it's a little pinned comment, or it's a thread under the D&D&Chill stuff, so check that out. But other than that, I'll probably be doing another stream about Tales of the Valiant, because I want to go over that in more depth. I want to read through that book, see the changes they did from 5e, kind of compare and contrast. So maybe that'll be another long stream, who knows. Well, the future me does. But now me doesn't. Me now want to go to bed. Good night, everybody.